past the hour. We're going to bring you a Fox News alert now. Shows of force and police in riot gear aren't stopping protesters from continuing violent clashes in Ferguson, Missouri, more than a week after a cop fatally shot an unarmed black man. Heather Childress has been following this story. Heather, what's the very latest overnight?
Yeah, those images, the St. Louis suburb looking, as you saw, like a war zone overnight. Police firing tear gas, smoke bombs, rubber bullets, all of that, trying to disperse the protesters.
You in the front line up there?
In the front line, yes. And they just start shooting.
They are demanding answers after the death of 18-year-old Michael Brown. Police are set to meet with Brown's family later today, and that's for the first time. Two reporters, meantime, covering the protest. They were arrested at a McDonald's after a SWAT team stormed in, told everyone to leave, and they were told they were, quote, trespassing, and were detained after they were recording the scene. They were later released without being charged. And we're learning that the police officer who shot Brown was, in fact, injured in the incident and had to be treated at the hospital for swelling on the side of his face. His name has not been released, and the decision to withhold the name from the public has only further escalated tensions. Missouri's Governor Jay Nixon we're being told, canceled everything on his schedule to make a visit to Ferguson today. And you guys have been following this on Twitter, and I mean, within every second there's an update. People on the scene and responding to what's going on.
Yep. Cops asking protesters to do their thing at night, which is an odd request. Thank you very much, Heather.
Heather, thank you.
12 minutes now after the hour. The unrest of many black leaders calling for protesters to take a page from Martin Luther King Jr. and use peaceful protesting. Yep. One man so frustrated, he went on an epic rant online. Listen.
What we're doing out here is not helping. Change is not going to come until we change it. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear opposing to what you want to hear. All we know how to do is blame the police and white folks for our actions. All we know how to do is march and riot and lock and loot. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm not going to tell you we going to march, we going to do this, we going to do that. I'm going to tell you, give it, let's change. Wow.
Well, that emotion being echoed across the country now, and joining us, the executive director of the Black Sphere, Kevin Jackson. Kevin, good morning. Thanks for being with us here. You know, you hear this blogger's take. Do you believe that is truly the message that needs to be sounded?
Yeah, he's echoed the sentiments of many black conservatives because, I mean, this type of thing is uncalled for. And what's interesting to me is when, Sharpton came in, and I'm standing on the very hallowed ground that he was on yesterday. When he comes in, nobody's really talking about the problems that get created by this.
Well, so much criticism has been leveled against Al Sharpton and others, black leaders who haven't gone into cities like Chicago, where bringing the light of the camera into those neighborhoods to talk about all of the violence that's unfolding there. That he shows up, Al Sharpton shows up yesterday. Many say, oh, he's just using his political opportunity to roll into a city like this. What do you say?
Oh, there's no question. What's funny is the people protesting were here to begin with, and Sharpton didn't bring out any new protesters. And he said all the right things because he wants to appear to be the true black leader, that he falsely represents. But the fact of the matter is he, Barack Obama, and Eric Holder really should have been talking about the bigger issue, which is, I think, law enforcement and how this all occurred and the type of decay, the moral decay that's occurring in neighborhoods like this.
So you think the big picture is not so much the incident which needs to be examined, it is what's going wrong in the inner city. And I'll bring you to one of the quotes from a member of somebody who lives right in that area. He says, police here are angry and people here are angry and frustrated. There needs to be justice. If you find a single person in the community who trusts the police, that is like finding a four-leaf clover. What do you do in a community where the feeling is like that?
Well, that's absolute nonsense. People do trust the police. There are many, many more instances of the police doing great things in not only the black community but across the nation. And you get an incident like this where we don't even know all the facts, and everybody's automatically jumping to the conclusion that the police have done something wrong. I don't know whether that's the case or not. What I can tell you is I would ask the folks in black neighborhoods, would you rather the cops not be here, or would you rather they be here to protect you?
Kevin, do you think it matters in terms of the police force staff being reflective of the community there? You know, have a community where 2/3 of it is black right now, as the numbers show, but only 3, I believe, officers are black, as recently reported. Does it matter how many officers actually look like the people in the community?
Well, it's a great point, Elizabeth. I think there's 53 cops on the force here, and 3 of them happen to be black. And if you were to use that logic, you think that there'd be no black people in Ferguson. If there's a bad, if that type of a ratio. So the fact of the matter is that, look, if the police are here to protect you and they're doing a good job, who cares what color they are? But the bigger point there is a lot of the police who are black have left the Ferguson Police Department for better and easier jobs.
And you also say the role models. He said it's too bad it's not Clarence Thomas, and it's too bad it is Snoop Dogg.
Right. Well, my point there is that we've gotten to a point in the black community where we're idolizing the wrong people. And, here again, here's a neighborhood that says, kill the police. And when at the very, we're the black neighborhoods, and I happen to live in a black neighborhood here in St. Louis, we're the ones who need the police protection. So we're doing things opposite because, quite frankly, I think liberalism has sort of led us to this opposite way of thinking. And you should be exalting people like Clarence Thomas and many others that are out there fighting the good fight. But instead, we do tend to idolize people that, quite frankly, don't live the types of lives that we wouldn't want for our kids.
All right, Kevin Jackson, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Right there in the eye of the storm.